Ba. Now the lovely wait to see if I'm actually alive. Wait for a comment to see if I'm actually live. Because it's it's lagging right now. Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. This was a little impromptu tag video that I'm doing today. I was tagged by the lovely Dee from Through the Pages with Dee. Her video and her channel are linked down below. So this is the Spring into Adventure tag. I wasn't expecting to have some answers for some of these, but because my reading taste is very different than most. So my favorite question one is specifically, this is all about adventure books, and it gets into more personal questions down as you continue the questions. So the first question is, what is your favorite adventure book? I'm not sure if I'm technically cheating or not, but my favorite adventure book, even as a child, was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. And this copy has Through the Looking Glass as well. That's was one of my favorite books as a kid. Because looking back at it, I didn't read as many adventure books as I thought. This one made me actually think of what books that I already have read or that I want to read that would fit into the prompts that are down below. And just for anybody, there are people tagged, but if you want to do this, all the questions are down in the description box below. So if you want to do this for your own channel or even just answer in the comments, please feel free to do so. And if you want to do this and I didn't tag you, please feel free to do so. Tag me in it so I could actually see everybody's answers, because these answers are very interesting. What's the newest or most recently published adventure book that you've read? Okay. It would be, this will make Evie very happy. The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. It was the most interesting tenses going back and forth. And different setups, and I didn't think I was going to like it because of the way it's written, but I just devoured it. And it's hard to explain without spoilers, so if you want spoilers, you can message me on any of the socials. All my stuff is linked down below if you would like spoilers for the context, that if you want to see if you would love it or not, because I could completely see why certain people don't like this. But I didn't think I would like it, but I ended up loving it. It was my first 5-star of the year, I believe. Yeah. But The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, I have to read The Vanished Birds still from Simon Jimenez. I do have a copy. I just have to read it. I'm planning on reading his other book in June. What is the oldest or earliest published adventure book? I have a couple answers for this because I'm not technically sure which one is older. These? Don Quixote by Cervantes. I believe this was published in like the 1300s. I would love to reread it because I only read sections of it in college. So this is on my reread project and my classics project. I wasn't sure because I'm much more of a classics reader than I used to be, if this would technically count, but the first time I remember seeing anything about Don Quixote was the episode of Wishbone that covered this book. And the other, maybe, because I'm not 100% sure because I hadn't finished reading it yet. The reason this is on the floor is it's heavy and I didn't want it falling off my table. The Tale of Genji. What's it written by? Masaki Shibuki? And this translation specifically is translated by Royal Taylor. I am slowly buddy reading this with my friend Amber from Amber Unabridged. I believe we're on chapter 4. She had an extra copy. This translation is a different translation than she has, so we're going to read certain chapters and then discuss them at some point. But this isn't completely finished because it's huge. This is humongous. So I don't know if I'm technically cheating, but I'm about, let's see, how far am I into this thing? I'm about 90 pages into this, so not very far at all. But I don't know if it'll technically count because I'm in the process of reading it. Ooh. What is my favorite? This is question 4. I'm sorry if I didn't say. What is my favorite adventure book author? That's tough. The only option that I could think of that would work was Alexander Dumas, because I read The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers, and he is the most, I don't want to say recent, that I can honestly think of as an adventure book. And I'm diving into John Gwynne this year, so I was going to mention him as an honorable mention as well. What is my favorite adaptation of an adventure novel? My favorite adaptation, my favorite adventure movies, I'm going to mention 2 because they still count. The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I found this at a used bookstore. I think it's the 10th anniversary edition, but it's really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. But I grew up on the movie. I didn't know it was a book. I thought it was made up for the movie. But as I got older, I found out it was a book, and there are some differences, but it's pretty dead on to an adaptation. And I think it's hysterical. I quote it to this day. And I think the first time I saw it, I was like 4. So I still love it. And the honorable mention, of course, is Hook, the adaptation of Peter Pan with Robin Williams. Now, this was the toughest question for me too. Hi, Dee. I didn't think you would be up still. Hi, thank you for tagging me. Now that you're here in the comments. I'm on question number 6. Um, my favorite adventure character. I'm gonna cheat a little bit on this one because it's my channel and I'm allowed to cheat. But thank you for tagging me. This is actually technically my first tag, so thank you very much. My favorite character is Jonathan Strange, but his wife Arabella as well. Literally, in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Hi, thank you for popping in. Your tag video and your channel are tagged in the description box down below. So if you're not following Dee and you love sci-fi and fantasy and just different books, please follow Dee. She puts out a lot more content than I do, so you'll have a lot of content to watch. Thank you for popping by. The favorite character are the couple, Jonathan Strange and his wife Arabella. This was my favorite book of last year. And I just love it. And it meshes together my two loves of like fantasy and sci-fi and classics, because it's written more like a Jane Austen type novel. Let me put this down so I don't drop it. Thank you. Yes, he's actually reading it right now, and he's messaging me his thoughts in Discord. It's been a very comical and fun conversation. For sure. But honestly, I think you might like it, Dee. It's very long, and I recommend taking your time. But it's a lot of fun. Like, it takes a while to set up, but I highly recommend, or at least give it a try. And if you have any issues with the physical book, the audiobook is also fantastic, if anybody's curious. The audiobook's done by multiple narrators, which is really awesome. Yeah. We've been having some fun conversations because he's reading it. He started reading it right after I raved about it. I forget whose channel I was on, and I was raving about it. But I'm actually doing a reread because Colin from Colin's Corner and I are going to have a live discussion at some point on my channel. But life is lifing, so we're taking it very slow. We're only on chapter 5, I believe, but we're gonna plan a discussion at some point within the next few months or so. Yay! I want to know your thoughts. You must tell me. Even if you don't like it, I want you to tell me, to be honest. But I think you'll really love the Jonathan Strange and his wife Arabella, because they're not normal characters for this time period. Like, she stands up to him. They're a team, and you don't see that much in the 1800s England. Yes, we have to, for sure. Yep. That's on my list. I just didn't want to rush you because I know you're in the middle of Malazan, and I know that takes a lot of brain power. At least it did for me when I tried. So take your time. I'm in no hurry. Let's see other questions. Fiction or nonfiction adventure books for question 7? A little bit of both. I'm getting more into nonfiction right now. I have a book. I like the historical parts of it. It just fascinates me. So, like, and it's, did Shakespeare actually write his plays and all that kind of stuff? Like, I know it's like could be preposterous, could be like questionable, but that's the fun of it. And I enjoy fiction, but I'm also really getting into nonfiction. I'm yeah, that sounds perfect because I'm actually going to read as well in June. I'm going to read The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez because I read with Evie and Dan from the Black and Blue Collar Reader. I read The Spear Cuts Through Water with them. So I think we're going to read it in June, but I know for sure Epic's going to read The Vanished Birds with me in June. Yes, you can absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if we're going to do like a live discussion or anything like that, but I know we're going to I know we're going to cover it somewhat. What do I consider myself? This is the last question. Of course, not including, there's two more questions, and then of course there's the last question of tagging people. So do I consider myself adventurous or not? Yes, in certain ways. I'm more adventurous with like trying different foods, but I'm also one of those people that will pack a bag in like an hour flat and just go anywhere just because. Like, I like to plan things out, but I also like to be spontaneous as well. So I don't know if that technically answers the question, but that's the best answer I've got. And do what's your favorite genre to combine with adventure? Um, Honestly, lately I've been reading a lot more classics. So I am tempted to say classics, but I also love adventure in like sci-fi and fantasy. So I cheated a little bit. This went a lot faster than I was expecting. I'm actually reading an adventure book right now. Use the mess. I am in the middle of book 2, The Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams. It's book 2 in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy. I can never get that out of my mouth 100%. But you can honestly see where all the authors that we love now get inspired by Tad. Like you see a lot of George R.R. Martin. His inspiration for the Game of Thrones books, all that stuff. You see all of it. I'm kind of all over the place, per usual with me. But thank you for tagging me in this tag. And the last question, of course, is tag people down below. I already have everybody tagged, but I'm going to tag Bonnie at Books with Bonnie, Jamie at Jamie Reads, Colin at Colin's Corner, YouTube. I think I tagged Epic, but I'm not sure. I think I did. My friend Jen at Genderqueer. I'm trying to remember who else I tagged. I tagged a bunch of people, and if you're not tagged down below, please feel free to do this. Tag me in your responses. I would love to hear your responses. And even if you don't have a channel and you want to respond to it, please respond in the comments down below. But thank you, Dee, for being here while it's happening live. And thank you to anybody who watches after the fact. And if you want to follow me anywhere, or if you're new, please think of subscribing. I feel weird saying all that YouTube jargon-ish stuff. Thank you so much for tagging me. I never get to do tags. I never think to do them, but I loved it. It was fun. It made me think. Because at first I wasn't sure if any of the books that I read would fit, but a lot more than I thought fit in the questions. The questions are down below if you want to answer. But thank you, Dee, and thank you for everybody watching after the fact. Please feel free to comment with your answers. And if you're trying to find me anywhere, my link tree is down below. And just say hi. Even if you're not subscribed, just say hi. Okay, thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Bye. That's true.